Hey everyone, it's Jessie, and if you have been subscribed to my channel, you've probably been wondering where the heck have you been, Jessica? Sorry if I'm speaking quiet. I'm in my college dorm and I don't really want anybody to know I'm filming because that's just awkward. So you haven't seen me for a while, and that is because I started college back in September, and if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know I haven't been in a public school setting for the last about 6-7 years of my life because I was homeschooled, went to a charter school. I have had a lot of work. I've been traveling as well over break. So I have about like 7 to 8 projects I'm working on right now that are due very soon. College is work, but education is great, kids. Enough about college because this is not like a college update video. I decided out of nowhere I have free time. This is like the first free time I've had in forever, so I'm gonna film a movie review for Bohemian Rhapsody. Alas, if you guys do have college related questions and you want me to do a college Q&A video, please leave those down below. I apologize about the poor lighting in this situation because I don't really have a tripod, I don't have studio lights, I don't have room, I'm in a tiny dorm, so that is the situation. As you can see, I am a massive Queen fan, also Peter Pan, also the Struts because I love their style and it's very much inspired by Queen. So going into the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, I was a massive fan of Queen beforehand, but I didn't really know too much about the background, so I started watching short documentaries and videos, interviews of the band before I went and saw the movie for the first time because I wanted to get to know the history and more about the band so I could judge it more accurately upon seeing the movie. I was really worried upon seeing the movie at first just because I had heard that the movie didn't focus or shine too much of a light on AIDS as it could have with how Freddie Mercury dealt with that and he passed away from AIDS. So I just was kind of disappointed upon hearing that, and I went into the movie really nervous about that because I just thought if you're giving such a platform for one of the greatest rock and roll bands of all time and you have this subject matter to talk about, I would use that to my advantage because I'm in school for film right now and I hope to be a director someday. I would really want to focus on that in at least a part of the film where it should be. I don't know. I really loved the movie. There was a bit of drama. I read an article on how it was directed. There was one director attached, but halfway through he had another commitment, and so another director took over, but he wasn't credited. He was actually credited as a producer, not as a director. So there is 2 people who worked on this film separately, and I do think that the directorial laws should be changed so another director can be credited because that is a little unfortunate. How I viewed this movie, I was in love and I was in awe the entire time I first viewed the movie because of how cinematically sharp and pristine and clean every shot was. This movie is probably like one of the cleanest movies I've ever seen, and it also didn't feel like a straight movie. It felt like I was watching something in sequenced chapters almost because there would be certain scenes, there would be performances, how a song was made, like a performance, and I kind of really like that setup of the movie. I don't have pretty much any complaints how the movie was filmed. I do really like how the movie was casted, and I know that Brian May and Roger Taylor, they had a lot of input in the film. They were there watching it being made, so they also worked on the production of making the music for it. That being said, I know Rami Malek, they say he sung a little bit. He had Freddie Mercury sound-alikes do the vocals, but it always constantly looked like he was actually singing, so this is like one of the best sound workings in movie I've seen because it all looks so authentic and real and so much of an homage to Freddie because of his incredible talent and voice. Costume designer did an amazing job. I absolutely loved instead how they got a choreographer. They actually had a movement coach so that they can mimic every move that Freddie made, and I just think that Rami Malek did such a fantastic job. He just captured Freddie's essence like perfectly, and like he said in the interview, he's like, if I had the choice to be Freddie or Rami for the day, I'd much rather actually be Freddie because of his charisma and personality and everything like that. Freddie Mercury has always been like a big style inspiration for me. I like to go out of comfort zone like what people normally wear. I just love Freddie Mercury and I love Queen. Getting to being a fan of the band and discovering more about how they came to be and more mostly about Freddie Mercury, the movie is not historically accurate into terms of Freddie's story and everything like that because I found out that he was actually diagnosed with AIDS after the Live Aid performance, and I didn't like how they made Freddie appear to be a bad character, a self-absorbed rich person who went his own way and like betrayed the band because I don't feel like that's actually how things went down. But I just feel like a lot of plots and things that they did to the story in making the movie, they did it because they just needed like a cookie cutter film. I feel like they just used it as like a stereotypical film plot and had all these tropes in it. They just did it for viewer pleasure enjoyment rather than having it be more accurate to the real life story because having Freddie be diagnosed with AIDS after Live Aid, they made his story more sympathetic towards him dying, like, so he had to do this performance because he was dying, when in reality that wasn't what it was. I would have loved to have seen more accuracy in that aspect, but I still think that the movie portrayed a really great homage to Freddie, and I just love the story and how beautiful and crisp the filming was and everything like that. And in case you guys didn't know, keep an eye out when you go to see it because Adam Lambert does make a little cameo in it. It's when Freddie's on the phone at a gas station and a trucker stops and he walks into the bathroom. That would be him. Also, the comedic elements and scenes in this film were gold. Timing was just perfect. There was a lot of little jokes that I really appreciated that a lot of people didn't laugh at, but if you see it a second time, you will see them and you'll die. Because there's a scene when they're in the first manager guy who denied them his office, and everybody repeats a word, and one of the guys said, "There seems to be an echo in here," because they all repeated opera, 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 or something like that. It was so funny. So those are pretty much almost all my thoughts on the movie. I really loved it. I can't wait to see Elton John's biopic next. You guys, let me know how you enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody in the comments below. So there is a limited edition Bohemian Rhapsody store, a Queen store, in celebration of the movie in Carnaby Street in London right now, and I live in London if you didn't know right now, and I'm going, and it closes in January, and I'm making sure that I go before then because I need all the exclusive Queen merch I can get. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see any more movie reviews, let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Be sure to like and subscribe.